Welcome to Happy Hour Holidaze with your hosts, Manny and Fresh. And we got the co-host, Sean Fabrizi, over here on the side wearing his British Open shirt, looking fly with a fresh cut. And then we got our special guest, Brian Gordon. He's a CEO of Tactical Society and Gear and Security. He just gave me a badass ashtray. I just want to show the crowd. This is badass. He's going to have some metal ones that'll be fucking dope.
Guns and Gars.
Yeah, Guns and Gars, bro. He's got the best cigars. They're fucking flavorful, and they are at Corona as well. You got to try them out. They're called Second Amendment Cigar Collection. So, Brian, we're really happy to have you on here.
Man, thanks, man. I appreciate you guys inviting me on.
Yeah, man. Awesome, man. So tell us a little bit about how, and then also thank you for your service,
Yeah.
Marine Corps,
Yeah,
man.
thanks.
So
That's right.
really
Simplify to all my Marines out there.
Yeah, man. Keep us safe over here, man. I really appreciate that, man. There's so, we've gone through some changes, where we haven't gotten enough support for our military men. So, it's great to have one in here who's defended our country and helped us to be able to do whatever we want to do, the American dream.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So tell us a little bit how you got into the to pretty much all the tactical stuff, as far as like gun marketing, and then your cigars, ammo, all that kind of stuff.
So, like I said, man, I was in the Marines, so it started kind of at a young age, man. As I think I've always been put in a position of protection, man.
Yeah.
So
definitely a big guy. So there ain't no doubt about protection, man.
Yeah, man. So it started out with the joining the Marine Corps. Obviously, man, you gain a lot of sense of responsibility from being in that, right? Met some super dope people that I'm still friends with today. Got out of the Marine Corps and always kind of had a love and passion for anything firearm related. And it got to a point, man, I got tired of kind of bumping my head with, doing, various entrepreneur stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, man, what is it? What's that one thing that I love to do that I could do if I didn't get paid for it? And it always went back to protection or firearms. So I said, you know what? Let me figure out how to monetize it.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then I just want to ask, what's your favorite gun?
Man, all of them.
All of them? All right. How about this one? What gun are you the most accurate with from, say, 75 yards iron-sighted?
Oh, iron sights. Man, I would say a 308. Like I like shooting a 308. I love the ARs too as well. I would lean more towards the ARs.
Yeah.
Just because I'm super, super comfortable with them. You know what I mean? But man, I love to shoot anything, man. Anything that goes bang it turns me on.
308's a sniper rifle, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
'Cause I got a 30-06, man, and that thing is powerful, dude.
Yeah.
And I think from 100 yards, I got like a 5-inch spread right there.
Well, you're pretty good then,
Yeah,
man.
not bad.
There you go.
That was the first gun. I remember we were at the range, dude, and my brother's firing it, and he's got the safety goggles on, and the scope hits him right in the eye.
Wow. Yeah.
And he was bleeding.
I got it right there.
I got you.
Yeah, man.
I got
And I
you.
was like, I was telling my cousin because I had shot it before, and I was like, all right, this is no biggie. I was trying to, be a little confident, show my cousin who's never shot a gun, and all of a sudden I come out, I'm like, I think I'm bleeding. And I'm like, damn it, dude. He's like, yeah, so this is how I'm supposed to do it, man? I'm like, oh God. So that was but we did have our buddy who got a fresh shotgun, and he was just like, oh yeah, let me just, so he hit it, and it kind of back, it
was like
It
sawed
bit him.
off.
It bit him.
It was sawed off. It didn't
Yeah.
have a butt. It was like hip fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just like stood there, and I was like, boom. And I was like, okay, well, at least I did this one right.
There you go. There
Yeah.
you go. It happens, man. It happens to the best of us.
Yeah,
And
so-
that's how you learn, man.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
We like going to the gun range. And,
Yeah, shout out Shooter's World right
Yeah.
there off of Fletcher and Dale
Yeah.
Mabry.
Yeah.
They got an indoor 100-yard rifle range. Place is awesome.
Yeah, and honestly, Brian, tell us a little bit about. I saw on your card that you have a lot of security protection services for business and personal.
Yes, sir.
So how does that work? Is it or what's the perfect client for that?
So, that ranges all the way from the civilian client that wants some protection of their home or their property, all the way to the commercial business owners that need security guards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That might need an unarmed security guard. Maybe they need an armed security guard. So it all depends on each client's needs. But I mean, we do all the way from someone watching someone's property all the way to protecting churches as well. So it's a wide range of security services for.
What exactly is asset protective services?
So that would be kind of like property, right?
Yeah.
You know, so if you wanted a guard to watch your business while you're away from here, then that would be asset protection.
Have you thought about maybe also starting like a security company for protecting money transfers from like businesses to banks? Or I'm not exactly sure how it works.
Good question. Actually, that is what I'm doing now with one of my clients is a big church. I'm not going to name the church, but we transport money from location to location.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's all obviously it's private, right? But yes, that's a good question. That is a service that we also provide as well.
So the personal protection services, that's people that maybe are wanting security around their house?
No, that would be you. That would be when you're out having a good time.
Bodyguards.
There you go. And you want somebody to be around you, make sure nothing jumps off. That would be the perfect service for you.
You got a lot of high profile clients?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, which you can't name, right?
Which I can't name. Right.
Well, what besides naming the actual client, what's one of the craziest experiences you've had protecting somebody?
Well, actually, it was during the Super Bowl. Remember when the Super Bowl was in Tampa?
Yeah.
Who played that game? I don't remember who played that game.
The Bucks and the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Bucks. They brought it home.
Yeah.
Right. They brought it home at home.
That was 2020.
Yeah. So that was a protection that I had some guys a lot of ex NFL players that were in town. That we provided some services for, and that was crazy, man. Because I was in a room with some of my favorite players, man. You know what I mean? So, the Donovan McNabbs and stuff like that. Just to name a couple of them, Charles Woodson, like those guys, like being around those guys in one room, and that was super dope.
And you had to be completely professional, right? You couldn't talk to them. You couldn't.
Nah, man, I was definitely talking to them. I was talking to them, but I just wasn't drinking. You know what I mean? And making sure everything was cool. But shout out to Corona, man. They I love that place. That place has afforded me a lot of great opportunities. And Jeff, which is the owner, and his wife Tanya, lovely couple. They've been great to me.
Yeah, I know. We've been going there for a long time. I mean, as long as we can remember. Before it was called Davidoff, and now it's called Corona. But man, the amount of good, it's almost like a great networking place every time you go in there because you meet so many, successful. I mean, a lot of entrepreneurs, but a lot of people like to smoke cigars, play golf, shoot guns, whatever, man. And it's a great place to network. And if you guys haven't been there, it's off of Boy Scout here in Tampa Bay. Great place to pick up a cigar, awesome drinks, great service. Check it out.
Yeah, man, I love that place. It's almost like I call it my second office. You know what I mean? But like you said, man, it's a place where I can go and do the things that I enjoy to do, which is to smoke cigars, and I enjoy networking. That's how I met you guys. You know, you're sitting there and we're all having a good time, and then what I like to say about the cigars, man, it's a bridge. It's like a bridge, man. It's that one place where you can sit. It doesn't matter what race you are, what religion you are, what political views you have. That's that one place where you can sit down and you can engage with anybody, and you guys have a great time, right? Yeah. So that's why I love that place.
And talking about Corona cigars, your cigars are there.
Yeah.
Right? So
man.
Right now they're called the Second Amendment cigars, right?
Yeah, the Second Amendment cigar collection.
And those are Nicaraguan based?
Nicaraguan, baby, all the way through.
So I know Corona has like 3 locations. One just opened up in Sarasota, one's in Orlando.
I think they're 5. I want to say 5 locations. They have the one here in Tampa, 2 in Orlando, Sand Lake, and downtown.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah,
I definitely
that's
had
a good
that
one.
with the rocking chairs outside.
There you go, baby.
I just smoke a cigar, and I'm like, damn.
And people watch all day.
Yeah, people watch all day, man.
Yeah, man. And they have one in the new one that they just had their grand opening for in Sarasota. Actually, it was last week on Friday. With their grand opening. So, they have a few locations.
And you have all your cigars in every single
I'm in every one of them.
Damn, that's awesome, man. So, do you have different lines of cigars?
Yeah. So, I have 3 blends. So, I have a Connecticut, which has a sweet tip on it. A lot of ladies love that one. But I'm surprised about how many guys have taken favor to that. I also have a Maduro, which is one of the more kind of the medium to bold, like the guys love. And then I have a Barber Pole, which is a mixture of them both. So it's a mixture of the Connecticut and the Maduro all in one. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds.
That was really good. I think that was the cigar you gave me,
That's
right?
the one I hooked you on, man.
Yeah. that's funny.
That's why he bought it next time.
I literally did, man. Because, I like those dual blends.
Yeah.
It's like you get 2 different flavors. It's smooth, man.
Yeah.
And that's really what I'm looking for in a cigar. The people that smoke the like heavy bold, I don't know how the fuck they do it, man. That's like crazy to me.
That's one of those ones, man, where you got to be smoking them where you're not going to move, or you're just home or doing something, you're chilling. Yeah. The heavy ones, like there's the Maduro I have. It's not super, super strong, but it will put you in a place of, hey, what am I doing here? You know what I mean? Like, you just kind of zone off, man, and it slows your thoughts down. So, but yeah, man, that's how I got into cigars. Actually, it's the only thing that I've come across, man, that really slows my thoughts down. Yeah. My brain is always on 10, even when I'm sleeping. And this is the one thing I fell in love with that actually slows me down. So that's how I got into it.
So what do you pair your cigars with? What kind of...
This guy was in my fucking head. I was thinking...
Oh, yeah?
I was like, man, when it comes to like cigars and drinks, how do you pair them up?
Yeah. Do you have a different drink for each kind of cigar?
So
or you
what's cool about it, man, what I might pair it with might not be what you would pair it with.
That's true.
And that's what's cool about it, because I'm a tequila drinker. Like, I love tequila, right? But a lot of people don't drink tequila because tequila makes them crazy, right? Me, I'm good on tequila. Yeah. But whiskey pairs really good. Also bourbon, scotch. So it kind of depends on the user, man. Like, what do you enjoy? I think people try to get all fancy with it, but at the end of the day, what do you like to drink?
Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be good with whatever you try anyway, because you enjoy it.
Yeah. Don't tell me you're drinking tequila with cigars, man. Are you,
bro? I'm a tequila guy, man, and it works for me. I like the anejos.
That's what, man. I just had that, so I just
that's a darker tequila.
Yeah, my buddy just bought that one, and now I'm like, I used to be Casamigos. Now everywhere I go, I'm like, let me get Don Julio 1942.
Yeah,
that shit is so good,
bro. I got one better than that.
What?
But they're not paying me. They're not paying me, but I'll give them a shout. Yeah. So they have there's a brand called Dobel Maestro. Right? Yeah, they have a anejo. They actually have a silver too, but they're anejo. Man, listen, it's not super expensive either, but it just has a very unique taste. That's my go-to right now.
And that's just like, you want to drink that on the rocks. You don't really want to mix it with margarita.
Nah, man.
When you get the anejo, you want to, that's like a scotch drink. You want to put a nice cube in there and then just sip it.
And relax. Have you tried dipping your cigar in a...
Yeah, actually, my buddy...
Wait. Dipping what?
Dip the butt of your cigar into it. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
I've never tried the flavor of whatever you like to drink on the butt of the cigar.
Yeah, I just learned that shit because when we met you, my buddy was like, I had my Johnny Walker Blue, and he's like, let me see that shit.
That guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and he dips it in there. I'm like, yo, dog, I just got all your spit in my fucking drink. He's like, I was like, do it on your fucking drink. But I was like, let me try this shit. I was like,
pretty good.
Yeah, it was nice and smooth. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's just like so. What was like? What got you into cigars? Like overall, like what was that experience? Was it in the Marine Corps where they smoked?
No, man. You know what? You guys probably won't believe this because nobody does. I've only been smoking cigars a year, a little bit over a year.
Really?
A little bit over a year.
So
man.
Recently.
And you were already able. This is a guy who has a head on 10 because he was able to find a manufacturer,
motivated,
brand it, man, and fucking get it out of the Corona.
But I will always go. I will always go to the cigar bars because, like you said, it's a crazy networking hole. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I would go and I would just drink. I mean, I've been going there for a few years, but I would just drink. I wasn't smoking. And then at the time, my mentor was always trying to get me to smoke. And one day I remember just having a rough day. I had one of those days. It just was a trying day.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Man, B, try this cigar." And my first cigar was an Atabey. I don't know if you guys know what those are, but that's kind of like one of the higher echelon cigars, which is for a beginner. That's not really a beginning cigar, right? So I'm smoking this thing, and I'm like, at first I'm like not really liking it, and then something kicked in, and I was like, whoa. I just sat back, and I remember just zoning out. And that was the moment when I fell in love with the cigars. And I kept smoking. Now I'm smoking all the time. And now the guy's like, yo, man, like, B, take it easy. You know? I'm like a cigar crackhead, you know what I mean? And but then I started getting so much business from the people that would visit the cigar bar from on my gun side of the business. So I'm selling a lot of guns to people that are in the cigar lounge.
Yeah.
Now they're not only are they buying my guns, but they're taking my classes, my concealed firearm classes. So I'm getting tons of business from being at Corona, right? Yeah. So I'm like, wait a minute. There's a direct correlation between people that smoke cigars and people that shoot guns. Yeah. Then that's when it clicked. I said, you know what? I'm gonna figure out how to combine the cigar world with the gun world, and that's when I came up with Guns and Guards. So once I figured that out, once I got that brand together, I got a logo made. And I start trying to think of what I was going to call the actual cigar itself. And I came up with the Second Amendment collection and I trademarked it. It was available. And then there it was, man. I just started finding my manufacturer and everything fell into place.
So tell us why did you call it the Second Amendment?
Because the Second Amendment, which is the right, it's the amendment, the right to bear arms, right? So it related to everything in my business, which was guns and protection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Got 2 minutes? All right. And then give us so as far as the ammo and stuff, where do people find to purchase your personal branded
So my company is called Tactical Society. They can find me on tacticalsociety.com. I like to say it's like the Amazon, man, of guns, man.
Yeah.
So listen, if you wanna buy a gun, or if you wanted to buy ammo or anything tactical related, all things tactical, right? You would just go to the website and you would just order it, just like you would go on Amazon. Will be to your house in 3 to 5 days, with the exception of firearms. Obviously, a firearm has to go to an approved FFL dealer. So if you bought a gun online, I would send it to a FFL or a gun store near you, and you would pick it up from their location. They would run your background checks, and then you would pick it up from them.
And when we get back, I really want to get to know what the advanced firearms training is, where you do that, because that's something I've always wanted to do. So please like, comment, subscribe, and follow. We'll be right back. And we're back with Brian Gordon, Tactical Society, personal security. This guy does it all. But one thing I really want to touch on is advanced firearms training.
Right.
That's something that I've always found fascinating. Is it like a compound you take them to, or is it more so at a range, or how exactly does that work? Are they moving and shooting?
So yes to all of those. So it depends on the shooter. How advanced is that shooter? Depends on what we will be comfortable with. My instructors will be comfortable with taking them and teaching them. Because some people say, yeah, I know how to shoot, but then when you get them on the actual range, they might not actually know how to shoot. So we like to start out taking people to just an indoor range, right, to do basic firearm training, which is, being able to make sure you can hit the target consistently. And then we have instructors that also do the run and gun. Now that is on an outdoor range, right? And that's when you're moving, obviously target acquisition and stuff like that all in one, but it depends on the shooter.
So that outdoor range, is there one around here in Hillsborough?
Actually, there's a couple. There's one down in, I want to say Ruskin. I think it's called Guncraft, I believe it is. And then they have another one out in Clearwater. I think that's called the Antelope Club.
Do you have to be do you have to be a member?
Yeah, you got to go sign up. So you go sign up, and they all have their own different membership packages. And once you sign up, then you can pretty much do what you want out there, as long as you have somebody with you.
Are any of these kind of not indoor training, but where you're going through hallways and rooms and clearing rooms, kind of like how you were trained in the military? Any kind of style like that, where it's very tactical? You put your gun down when you're turning corners and things like that.
Now we have a range that we do that at, and that's going to be out towards Wild Mama. And that's a private range. So yes, we do have that set up, but just for most cases, it's gonna all gonna be here in the local area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then the running guns that are in like Clearwater and that are in what you said Ruskin. So those are also private clubs, right?
Yeah. You all have to sign up. You have to sign up, give them your information, and get a membership.
Do you need any kind of like certification?
No, you're good. As long as you're with somebody that that's an instructor. That's a licensed instructor. You're good to go.
How much do you charge for that?
This depends, man. Most of those are going to range from like $150 an hour.
Oh, that's not.
Yeah, it's not crazy. Yeah. It's affordable. I try to make everything affordable because I want people that love to shoot. I want them to be able to enjoy it and not worry about can they put gas in their car to get back home?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So yeah, we try to make things affordable.
I mean, talking about affordable shooting, at least moving targets, skeet shooting.
Oh, you know what?
Clay shooting.
I can't say I've never done it.
Really?
I've never done skeet. So if you guys want to take me skeet shooting,
hell yeah,
I would love. I would love to go. I've been invited a few times, but it just hasn't worked out for my schedule. But I definitely want to go, man.
Depending on where you live, there's two. One Silver Dollar, which is in Odessa.
Okay,
and then the other one is in Land O'Lakes. Those are the only two I know.
Yeah,
That shit is fun, dude.
The Silver Dollar is
Yeah.
like in a retirement community, so it's cheap, and it's like the guy.
It's like $25.
The guy's in the golf cart, and you're like,
he's falling asleep
You're like,
while
hey.
the guns are going
Oh
off.
man.
you're like, hey man, which one is
knock-
mine? And he's like, yeah, just that one right there. It's good with you, dog. Just press that shit. You're good to go.
Oh, shit.
But it's a good time, man.
Yeah.
It's like if you like to be competitive, I mean that's what we
Oh,
always
yeah.
do. We always like to fucking do
Yeah.
something where it's like money based, a little bit of fun, a little friendly.
Yeah.
But the gun shooting almost reminds me a little bit of like golf, because at the same time when you get like a golf trainer that
Right.
wants to train you, I mean that's about the same rate, $150. So it's if you like to do something, I mean it's worth getting to be an expert on it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Let me know when you guys go, man. I want to go.
Yeah, no,
Lock me in.
Hey, so when it comes to like when the security protections, I was talking to you a little bit off camera,
Uh-huh.
but so it's obviously your military training,
Right.
along with your gun use to being a pro when it comes to technical training. So is that did you do any other training when it comes to like the protection services? Is that just
Nah, man. Just a lot of fights, man. Get my ass whooped a little bit as a kid,
Highly doubt
and then it get to the point where you don't want to get your ass whooped anymore. I think a lot of my training just started, as a kid, man.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I was placed in positions as a kid that a kid probably shouldn't be put in.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And I just grew to be good at it.
No.
You know what I mean? Like a little bit more than good. And I ended up in the Marine Corps, and that didn't make things any better. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like the perfect storm. You know what I mean? Placing a kid that had, I will say at that point in life, I had a lot of built up aggression, right?
Yeah.
From being placed in positions that a kid shouldn't be placed in, And when I say that, it was mean like as far as protection. I had to protect my mother.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, at certain points, I had to protect my brother, my friends. I was always in a place of where I was always taken up for somebody. You know what I mean? So when I joined the Marine Corps, man, it was just a storm, man. It was a perfect storm, right? And that was just the one thing I've always been good at, was just protection.
Yeah.
So for me, again, it goes back to purpose for me. I don't do this. Don't get it wrong. Like I get paid to do it, but that's not my purpose. Is to protect. Like that's why God created me. I'm a protector, and I know that. You know what I mean? And now I thrive in that, because now I know that's why I'm here. And I love making sure those people around me are safe, and my friends and family. Like I really enjoy doing it.
Where did you grow up?
So I grew up in a small country town called Rabonia, Florida. It's about an hour south of here, kind of near Palmetto, Bradenton, Sarasota, Manatee County.
Yeah.
Real small town, man, a country town, man. But it like every other town, man, it has its ups and downs about it,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Did you play sports?
Yeah,
Brian?
play a little football.
Yeah.
Yeah, played football. But my main sport was basketball, believe it or not. Love basketball, but football was probably the thing I was the most good at.
Were you always a big guy?
Man, you know what? No, I wasn't, man. Like I was kind of a slender kind of kid in high school, and then it wasn't until I got to the Marines and I spread out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
spread out a little
DT.
bit. Yeah, man. That was the best shape I've ever been in my life. I forgot what famous person said this, but it says you're not a man till you can feel how physically fit you can be.
Yeah.
Till you can reach that peak. And I reached that peak, and I know what it feels like to be in the best shape of your life.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get back there again, honestly. But man, I wouldn't trade it for the world, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, without a doubt, man.
Yeah.
And when it comes to like, the football, was it just you weren't as interested into football?
I didn't like the practice, man.
No, you didn't like the practice?
I love the game. Like I was good at busting some heads.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean?
figured.
Like my boy would tell you, like, yo, BG can hit. You know what I mean? Like that's all I wanted to do. You know what I mean? And again, I was playing it, man, to take out stuff that I was dealing with at home. You know what I mean? So for me getting out there, man, it was like, oh yeah. I get to hit some people.
Yeah.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah.
So
like sign me up.
Linebacker?
Yeah, actually outside linebacker and defensive end.
Oh,
was
okay.
my
Oh,
yeah.
Andy.
Yeah.
So
Mostly
you weren't a
DN.
small guy. you know?
No, I wasn't super small, you know what I mean? But, I just wanted to get to the quarterback. Make it real simple for me, man. Like, I don't want to do too much thinking, you know what I mean? Just let me go after the quarterback and be done.
What high
Yeah.
school did you go to?
I went to Palmetto High School.
Palmetto High.
Palmetto
yeah.
High School, yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
So, I mean, talking about, growing up in an area where you said was kind of hard for you.
Yeah.
you have a foundation called G.E.R.M.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
That helps underprivileged kids go to college and get them out of that situation.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about
that? Yeah,
so
G.E.R.M, G.E.R.M stands for Giving Essential Resources to Minorities. And I started this foundation off of a very tragic event. My brother was murdered 5 years ago. And I wanted to create an organization to make sure his name lived on beyond me. So that was my way of paying tribute to my brother. I made a lot of promises to my brother. I made a lot of promises to God, to be honest with you. And I wanted to make sure his name lived on beyond me. So me creating that nonprofit was just my way of making sure kids had the opportunity that were from single parent homes, to be able to afford them the opportunity to be able to go to college, trade school, or entrepreneurship for those that fit the billet. So yeah, that foundation is very near and dear to my heart.
Okay. What was your brother's name?
My brother's name was Vernon Gordon. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And that's not your only foundation. You also have another one, correct?
Yes. Yep. So I partner with a good friend of mine named George Boswell. We created a nonprofit called OTS for Vets, and it stands for Offering Transitional Service for Veterans. And what we do with that nonprofit, we assist veterans after they get out of the military. As you know, veterans often find themselves struggling from that transition, right? From going from that structure to being out here in the civilian world. It's night and day. You know what I mean? I struggled with it when I got out. I struggled for a long time because that sense of family and camaraderie, it's not the same out here. Man, you guys know, man, there's some weird ass people out here, man. Like, let's just be real, man. Like, I mean, even with you guys, like, even I can tell, even when I met you guys only deal with each other.
Yeah.
And it's a reason for that. And honestly, that's what I liked about your guys' dynamic. I could tell you guys were really close. Yeah. And that is familiar to me because that's how I am with my boys. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, when we're out, we're not really dealing with no outsiders because I know what I'm dealing with, right? Yeah. So I can tell you guys know what you're dealing with. Yeah. So it was I'm appreciative of you guys letting me in just to have a little piece of of your conversation and stuff like that. So I get it. So a lot of guys struggle from coming from that. Yeah. You gotta think, man, these guys are sweating together, bleeding together, actually putting their lives on the line for each other, right? Going from that dynamic to coming out here dealing with these a lot of these weirdos, man, and fake like that is not how military people roll. It's black and white. We doing this or we're not. You know what I mean? If something pops off, it's who's driving. You know what I mean? Like it's just a different dynamic. And a lot of guys struggle with that, man, whether they're dealing with stuff that they seen over there, and they're coming back. Now they have to be family men. You know what I mean? You got to think, you're in a constant sense of duress when you're in the military. You're always on alert. Whether you're awake or you're asleep, you're still always on alert. So to cut that button off, going from the military life to civilian, it's not that easy, bro. It's not a switch you can just cut off. Yeah. It's on. Yeah. It stays on. So a lot of these guys, they struggle with that. So with our organization, we want to be able to help them find the mental health services that they need, even with housing. You know what I mean? We want to be able to, if they need affordable housing, to be able to kind of connect them with the resources to put them in housing. You name it, man. Anything that we can help with, that's what we want to do.
And through that foundation, you also OTS, you're hosting a marathon? Or a run?
Yeah. So we're doing a veterans run, man. It's the sixth annual. It's the sixth one. We obviously didn't do one a few years back because we had that COVID stuff going on, right? But we're doing a veterans run on Ben T. Davis Beach over there in Clearwater. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Whiskey Joe's. They gave us their facilities for 2 days. So, yeah, man, which is super, super awesome, right? So the 18th and 19th, which is a Saturday and Sunday, we're gonna have that whole causeway, right? And we're gonna have. There's a lot of different various races. You have a 10-miler, a half marathon, you name it. It's all on our website, which I'll make sure I give to you guys. And this Sunday after the event, after the last race, we're gonna have a big party there at Whiskey Joe's.
Is it a circuit or is it up and down or?
So yeah, it's up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all the way down the causeway.
So it's not like
Yeah.
you run all the way down and then you're like, shit.
Nah,
how am I
bro.
getting back?
Nah, bro. Yeah. They got. And I don't care. You got to get back. There's no quit. There's no quitting. Right?
Yeah,
Call an Uber. I don't care. Get back.
Go to the
Yeah.
party. But we got some major sponsors: Tampa Electric, Corona, Cigars Direct, Keller Williams, Whiskey Joe's, and the list goes on. and
Yeah,
on.
man. Yeah,
It's
just
a
to
big
name
event.
a few. Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. I'm finalizing some events, a pre kind of celebration, right? That I want to do at the current hotel. They shout out to Current as well. They gave me their location for the 17th. I'm just wrapping up a few details. But we're gonna do a pre-celebration there at the Current hotel. Yeah, man, it's gonna be a great time, man. Some live entertainment. I have my boy, a good friend of mine, Marlon Boone. I don't know if you heard of him, but he's a top-notch saxophone player here in Tampa.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
So I'll have him there performing. He doesn't know that yet, but he'll be there. Yeah, he has to be there, right? But he'll be there on Friday. So yeah, it's gonna be a good time, man.
Yeah, I'm just
Looking forward to it.
I want to skip the run and just go straight to the party.
Yeah, hey, bro, I'm not running. I got 2 flat tires.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying, man.
Where's the Current hotel?
So on Rocky Point.
Yeah, Rocky
Yeah,
Point.
Rocky Point.
Is that by Rusty Pelican?
Yes,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
right there, right
It's
next
the
to
new
it.
hotel, right?
Oh man, have you been in there?
Yeah, the rooftop bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that place is
Yeah,
awesome.
it's nice, man.
You-
Super nice
You
staff.
can't smoke in the rooftop bar though.
No, but you can smoke where we're gonna be, right? So they have an outside, the outside area there where you can go sit kind of close by the beach there on the beach. They're gonna allow the cigar smokers to go outside and smoke in that area. So yeah,
That's awesome.
I wouldn't be there, man, if I can't smoke. Yeah.
That's why I felt bad. I was like, oh, damn, Brian's going to come over here. He's a cigar smoker. A lot
Yeah.
of people like to come on the podcast
Nah,
and
bro.
smoke cigars.
Nah,
But
I was like, wait a minute, man. I'm seeing this. What's going on? I'm seeing ventilation, but
Yeah,
whatever.
well, the AC guy that we have, he was like, yo, I can tie in your bathroom exhaust with this room, and then
Yeah.
you can kind of vent out all the
Yeah.
cigar smoking. And I was like,
The
man.
landlord won't let that.
You won't let it
happen.
happen?
Because there's a lot of people that want to smoke,
Yeah,
whether it's
man.
cigars or weed or whatever, while
Yeah.
they're on the podcast.
Yeah.
You know,
This is a dope spot, though, man.
Yeah, it's not
like
bad.
I love what you guys did here. Now, if I had this, only thing can make this better is a cigar.
Yeah, it is, man.
exactly.
Yeah, but this is man. I love your guys' setup.
There's some people that won't come on Brad Bruner unless they're smoking cigars.
Oh yeah, yeah. Nah, man, this is a good time. Yeah.
So Brian, how did you come up with your logo and the name of your company for Tactical Society?
So,
Because the
But-
logo is dope. I mean, I'm seeing all
yeah,
your
man.
shit.
So I wanted to combine the shooting aspect of what I do, and then I wanted it to be global. So what could I do to combine the two? So I put you see the reticle of the scope,
The sights,
right?
yeah.
The sights, and then
The globe.
the world,
Yeah.
right? So I was like, what could I call it? And it Tactical Society, because that's what we live in. We live in a tactical society, whether you want to believe it or not.
Yeah.
But we definitely live in one. So that's where the branding came in.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome, man. When it comes to veterans leaving the military, it's really tough on any of them. I mean, to kind of, like you said, go from always being on alert to now going to a regular civilian society. I mean, how hard was it to kind of transfer from being in the military to going back to civilian? I mean,
It was hard, man.
You know,
Like it was difficult for me, man.
Yeah.
Like when I got out, man, I went through some traumatic stuff when I was in the Marine Corps. So when I got out, like I said, that button wouldn't cut off.
yeah,
That button was still on. You know what I mean? And no matter how hard I tried to turn it off, it was just on. You know what I mean? And I would find myself being put in positions to where that button shouldn't be on,
but it's on.
but it's on. And people felt the wrath of that. You know what I mean? And it wasn't until I remember one of my good friends was like, I remember his face when he looked at me. Shout out to Quincy. He looked at me. We were in a car, and he looked at me and he said, I had just gotten in a fight. And he looked at me. He said, man, what's wrong with you, man? Like, he meant it.
Yeah.
He was like, man, what's wrong with you? And it wasn't until that moment till I knew, like, I needed to get some help.
Yeah.
And it took a long time. I personally decided I need to stay away from people for a while. You know what I mean? Because it was like the little things would trigger me. You know what I mean? And to be super honest with you, man, I got off on it. a adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, man, because it was like I was seeking that action. Like I wanted it. I would never start anything, but I wanted it. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't run from it at all.
It wouldn't take much, right?
You know what I mean? It wouldn't take much. And I knew that was a problem. You know what I mean? And that started getting me in positions to where now my freedom is starting to get jeopardized. You know what I mean? So that's when I realized, like, you know what? Let me work on this. So it took a lot of, man, it was a lonely time for a while with me, man. Like I went through this stage of it was super dark. You know, and I had to have conversations with myself. I had to have some conversations with God, and it wasn't easy. I'm just gonna say it wasn't easy, but it was necessary. And I think, especially with men, I think we tend not to want to go to those places because those aren't comfortable places for us to go in.
I agree. Hey, welcome back to Happy Hour Holidaze. Sorry, we were in the middle. We were so intrigued with Brian. We fucking forgot about the time. But, you know, going back to that, you know, being in a dark place and getting out of that, you know, a lot of people, men in particular, have a hard time going to, you know, places for mental health. And Brian was just like, hey, you know what? I need to go there to kind of get myself together. So going back to that dark place and getting out of it.
No, I was just saying that, you know, I think there's this stigma of men getting help. You know what I mean? And for me personally, at first, I looked at it the same way. You know what I mean? I was like, man, I ain't going to go talk to nobody about my problems. That ain't what men do. Like, we figure it out. And for me personally, my way of figuring it out was just spending a lot of time with myself and me, you know, having conversations with God. I did pray a lot. And I started asking myself some hard questions, like, why am I doing this? You know what I mean? Like, why do I feel like I need to drink so much? Why am I going through so many women? You know, that was a question I had to ask too.
Fun.
Yeah,
you know, but hey, I got the answer because I'm good looking.
But I'm just being super real, man. Yeah. It was a point like what am I covering up? You know what I mean? And when I started asking those questions, bro, like some of them answers, bro, were kind of, they didn't feel very masculine.
No,
you know what I mean? But when I started addressing these things, man, I will tell you, man, my life I did a 180. This thing started working out for the better. You know what I mean? I started feeling a lot lighter. I started making better decisions. I started hanging around better quality people. You know what I mean? I stopped wanting to do a lot of the same shit that I used to do that were putting me in these situations. You know what I mean? So it's necessary, man. So I just, you know, again, man, to the guys that that might be going through something or might have had something happen to them in life and they don't want to address it, they want to bury it, it's going to come out anyway, bro. It's going to come out in some form or fashion. Yeah. So it's just better to face it head on.
Yeah.
So did the VA help at all, or are they kind of just...
I'll say the VA has gotten a lot better. When I first started going to the VA for any type of assistance, whether that be medically or whatever, right? A lot of it, bro, it would frustrate the hell out of veterans. Yeah. It would actually be worse.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, because of the scheduling, the sometimes how they were treated. But I will say they have gotten a lot better. But when I first started going to the VA, no, bro, it was more of a hassle to even go there than you be better off dealing with your own problems than going to the VA. But I will say they have gotten a lot better.
Does OTS work with the VA at all?
No, not currently. Not currently, but that's something.
Do you want to?
Yes, I do. I want to be able to have some type of, you know, fingerprint on when these guys get out. I want to be involved in that. You rather that be on Voc Rehab, which is when these guys get out and they're looking for occupations. That's something even with my company, even with just Tactical Society or Guns and Guards, right? If I can employ some of these guys and help them out and still give them that structure that they need and that they want, then yeah, I definitely want to be a part of it.
Are the majority of your employees veterans?
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's easy to work with vets.
Yeah,
I ain't got to worry about what I say. I can be super straight up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess
like that's just because
speak the language.
There's a language, bro.
Yeah.
There's a different language, man. There's a different language, and you guys are like that too. You know what I mean? I can tell like you're not really touchy, feely about. Hey, man, look, man, this shit has to get done. Like this has to get done, and it has to get done like yesterday. You can't talk to the average employee that way, bro. You can't. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
That's
Like, you can't-
100%.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Trust me, we know.
Yeah. So for me, I like being around that
Yeah.
because I know how to respond to that. But you have to remember that not everybody is
It's gonna be like
it's
that.
like that. Everybody comes from different walks of life and they were raised differently. For me, I was raised tough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I like being around people that kind of have that same mentality.
Yeah, because you gotta think, man, when it comes to sports, the military and all that stuff, it's a bond that you can't even explain. If you've never played sports or been in the military, you can't really fucking talk about when you got a group of people in a room
That got
or,
your back.
or you're battling.
Bro, is that not a good feeling?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
it
great
is.
feeling.
Ain't
man.
nothing like it.
I wish I wouldn't have smoked so much weed and I would have concentrated on fucking, like actually being like, hey, you know, I'm into this sport. And I
Yeah.
played soccer and I played it since I was like 5. so I
but
was
you
just-
got fucked because you tore your ACL
yeah,
twice.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I tore my
Okay.
ACL twice playing soccer. Because
Yeah.
I mean, my buddies would always go, Manny, why you going so hard in these pickup games?
Right.
You know, like everybody knows you good here, man. You don't got to go hard. And I was like, I don't know any other way.
That's right.
It's the only way I know how to go is hard because I want to be the best on the field. And the only way to be the best on the field is to go hard. But you know, they were like, save it for fucking when you're actually competing for something or somebody's actually looking at it.
Right.
And I tore it, you know,
And on a better field.
yeah,
Hey, but you see how that shit transfers to real life though?
yeah, it
Yeah,
is,
it
man.
does.
See that?
Because you want to win, man. You know, it's like I want to win, but I know how to, you know, be a leader and help other people kind of get up to the same level that I need to be or need them to be so that we can win.
Right. And that's why you're here. That's why you guys are both successful.
Yeah.
That's why we're all here. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? There is no, you know, all right, we're not gonna
There's no foot off the
no, bro.
bro.
It's all gas. It's no fucking brakes.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. You know what I mean? I broke the dial off at 10. I can't go back if I want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't go back, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that. But again, bro, this is not these conversations aren't for the light of heart. Most
No.
people can't understand that, and we're not for most people. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
Wrap your head around it. Accept it. I do.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to be around certain people.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't want you to feel comfortable around me if you're average and you're okay with being okay. That's not gonna fly with me. And I love being around people that have that same mentality because they move the needle.
Yeah.
Those are the people that move the needle. Either you're gonna learn something from them, right, or they're gonna put you in a position to win.
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
And I'm not going to say that everybody who doesn't play sports doesn't have it, but at the same time, I've seen my friends, you know, just growing up in multiple schools, these guys that have played organized sports or been to the military, they think different. They want to win. They want to compete. And it's not about, hey, I'm trying to be better than this person. It's just, I want to do the best I can do. So I know that out there, I've done the best that everybody's going to recognize that, hey, I'm on the top of on the mountain, you know.
That's right.
And here's another thing. If you are average, change your mentality.
Yeah.
That's really the only way to do it. Because listen, I was average up until I was about 26. Heard one motivational video and then boom, everything changed.
Right.
But you have
Les
to be
Brown,
willing.
Les Brown.
Les Brown.
Yeah,
you
oh,
have
he's
to
a-
be
oh, he's a
willing
goat.
to
That's our
change.
favorite.
He's a goat.
Oh,
He's a goat, man.
Yeah, if I listen to him, man, my brother put me on to him. Man,
Yeah.
the first time I listened to him, I was like, fuck everybody else. This is the guy I need to listen to because, you know, he says, what was it? The perception of what other people think doesn't have to
One's
be your
perception of you doesn't have to become your reality.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
after you
Yeah.
hear that, it's like, bro, it doesn't matter what the fuck anybody thinks. If you have the mentality to do whatever you want to do, doesn't
But
matter.
Deion Sanders said it. You didn't make me, so you can't break
That's
me.
right.
That's
That's
right.
right. That's real.
Yeah.
That's straight up, man.
What
And-
makes you think I give a shit of what you
That's right,
think?
man. The difference between being average and great is one fucking decision.
Yeah.
You really think about it. It's one decision.
Don't give a shit about what people
It's one
think.
decision.
That's literally
I'm gonna
it.
do this, or I'm not gonna do it. It's really that simple.
Yeah. No, it is.
And not,
You know?
and also not tomorrow, today.
There is no tomorrow.
Exactly.
So, and I'm glad you brought that up, man. So, and I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but this was the moment that really changed my life for me. So the day my brother was murdered, the last thing I said to him was, "Hey, bro, I love you." He said, "Bro, I love you too. I'll talk to you later," which is my tattoo. That's where I had that tattoo. I love you. I'll talk to you later. Bro, that was the moment I realized that time is not fucking real. What we think is time, what we think is real, it's not. We don't have time. There is no tomorrow. It's really a figment of your imagination. So this thing that you want to do, you better do it now. Like, now is the time to do it. And I think a lot of people get caught up in, oh, you know what? I'm going to do this next week. Or I'm going to do this whenever. Bro, it's not guaranteed. So for me, I look at time differently now. Like my whole perception of time is, oh nah, bro, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it now. And then that's why I'm so driven. That's why I can't turn it off. Because I never feel like I'm doing necessarily enough. You know what I mean? I know you guys work your ass off too. And a lot of people don't understand that. They're like, man, what, like you said, man, why you go so hard? Bro, because I have to.
You have to. I don't know any other way. I don't know any other way.
I have to. You know what I mean? So
tomorrow's never promised.
Nah, bro. Yeah. What is tomorrow?
Yeah. Tomorrow is...
What is that shit?
Enjoy
you know what I'm saying?
That's a word.
Bro, it's not even real. Yeah. You know, we're enjoying each other right now, man, but we don't know, God forbid. Like tonight, it's about now, So yeah, I respect that.
And going back, the dark place to reversing that shit, balancing your personal life, and creating two, three business. I mean, fucking a lot. I mean, two nonprofits, multiple businesses,
6 businesses.
I mean, and for them to be successful, how did you balance that, Brian?
Man, I got to the point to where I was just like, you know what? I don't give a fuck what anybody else thinks. I'm gonna do this shit Usher, my way. Frank Sinatra, my way. You know what I mean?
That's the best song.
And when I wrap my head around that, man, that's when my life changed. You know what I mean? And yeah, I got a lot of stuff going on, man. And sometimes I'm like, man, why do you do this shit to yourself? You know what I mean? Because I don't have that time. I don't have that personal time to do stupid, play video games or go get drunk with my friends. I don't do that shit no more. You know what I mean? For me, it's about fulfilling a purpose. Like, and I told you guys before when we first started, like, I realized why God created me, and then that's why my life changed, right? So for me, I just want to be able to be in position to affect change, whether that be protection, whether that be helping a kid get in college, whether that be help a veteran, transition from getting out of the military to civilian. Like, I just want to be remembered for something. You know what I mean? And again, man, like I said, when that happened to my brother, I just realized that, bro, what the hell are you doing? Like, what are you doing with your life? You know what I mean? And I feel like the only way to make my brother proud is to make sure I do all the shit that I promised him I was going to do when he was alive. So that's what I'm going to do.
Leave a legacy, man. You
gotta leave a legacy.
Doesn't matter if they don't know your name or whatever the fuck it is. You leave a legacy.
Oh, they gonna know they gonna know my name, bro. I'm gonna make sure to.
But really, if you just impact one person a day, and you change their lives forever, that could be your legacy, even if your name's not known, because they'll remember you and they'll honor you.
Man, that's dope. I like that. And really, if you think about it, that's not that hard to affect somebody.
No, man.
That's just by doing something nice for them or saying something positive.
But check this out. Some people affect one person negatively a day, and that does a lot of bad shit.
That really does.
Yeah. So, I mean, it goes both ways, right?
Yeah.
You can impact someone positively or negatively.
Yeah.
Make sure you pick and choose your words correctly. Now, if someone's being a fucking asshole, fuck off.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, man.
But when it comes to, Brian, one of the biggest things I've noticed with G.E.R.M, I mean, you give away or you get one scholarship per kid every single year, and you change their life.
So,
I mean,
man,
that's impact right there.
And listen, and I can't, and I won't take credit for all this.
But you're a part of it.
Man. But you know what? I do have a good network of people that donate to this. All this money comes from. Yeah, some of it comes from my business, but the majority of it comes from people that are donating. You know what I mean? Or people that are sponsoring the events that I do. And unfortunately, I have changed the dynamic of how I raise money for these kids because I was doing fundraisers, right? Then I realized it's the same people doing this shit every time I'm doing an event. It's the same people coming out, donating for the kids. Oh, but let me throw a party. Oh, I throw a party, I can bring out the city. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's just random people coming want to have a good time and drink and smoke and all that shit. I said, okay, I got something for you guys. I throw parties, but the money I make off the parties, I donate back to my nonprofit. So I make you give one way or another. You know what I mean? I hate I have to do that, but it is what it is. I'm gonna do what I gotta do to be able to help these kids.
It's a sacrifice.
It's a sacrifice.
And that's
that you're willing to do.
And that's one thing I've seen, Brian, is the difference between you and a lot of people out there is that they just talk. But you're actually making the difference out in the out in the neighborhood.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. But man, I will tell you, man, it took it was a journey to get here, man.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because I was out here drifting. And I know if you know what that I know you know what that feels like because you were saying, man, it was something that went off in a light bulb that went off. I was out here drifting, man. I was out here partying. I was just out here doing a lot of shit I shouldn't be doing. And I just got tired of doing it.
Wasting life.
Bro, it's wasting life. You know what I'm saying? And I got tired of doing it. And you know, again, man, like I'm happy to be in this space, man. I'm at peace. I'm strengthening my relationship with God. There's some things that I need to work on. I'm not gonna sit up here in front. You know, like hey, my mouth is not the best, man. You know, I still curse, you know, stuff like that. But I do have a relationship with God. I ain't perfect, and I think a lot of people feel like they have to be all the way together to go have a relationship with God. And I think that's what stops a lot of people from going to church. They feel like they got to be this perfect person, but you don't. You know what I mean? And I'm just good. I'm just happy to be in this space, man. And I plan on staying in this place as long as I can.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
So what would you say are your last words, your final thoughts to the audience? It could be anything. It could be tips, advice, or, you know, just something that you want to tell people.
Yeah, I would tell people, man, to stop chasing profit and chase your purpose. Because when you find your purpose, the profits are going to chase you anyway.
That's
I think there's so many people out here trying to chase $1, and then they keep bumping their heads. You know what I mean? You keep changing jobs. You keep changing entrepreneur. You keep changing, trying to get, you know, new businesses, and you're wondering why you're bouncing around because you're not moving in where you in your purpose. You find your purpose, all that shit chases you.
Oh shit, man. That's heavy. That's deep right there.
Yeah. And I'll tell you something.
That's real.
What Brian said right there is the more and more I talk to successful people, the more and more I hear that shit is don't chase the fucking dollar. Chase the purpose.
Right.
Yeah,
because
if you chase the money, the money's gonna run.
The money will come as long as your heart is in the right place.
Right.
And man, we can't thank Brian for coming to this podcast. This was fucking awesome. Check out his website, Tactical Society, Gear and Security. I mean, he's got great cigars at all the Corona locations. Check them out. They're great. He's got multiple different choices. We've had them. They're awesome. All his nonprofit organizations, G.E.R.M for scholarships to help out the community, and then the nonprofit OTS for vets to help them transition from, hey, helping us out and keeping us safe to going in the civilian world. So don't forget that. His event is November 18th and November 19th. Whiskey Joe's. Check it out. It's going to be fantastic. Really appreciate everybody listening to Happy Hour Holidaze. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions for Brian, please reach out to us and we can get him in contact with you. If you need his services as well, we can get you in contact. So really appreciate Brian, man.
Yeah,
it was fucking awesome, man.
Man, this was man, can I drop an F-bomb?
Yeah.
Man, this was the best fucking podcast I've been on.
There we go. That's what I like. Happy Hour Holidaze. Thank you for listening.